Where can I start? JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is one of my favorite animes ever. I can't even begin to say how much I love this fucking show. It's honestly one of the loves of my life, right up there with my girlfriend and my obsession with cereal straws. They're back, by the way. I saw them at the grocery store, purchased them, and I don't know why anyone else is not talking about them. They're fucking delicious. The plot of JoJo, for those who don't know, is about the lineage of the great and mighty Joestar family as they fight and risk their lives and the lives of innocent dogs to keep the world safe from vampires, serial killers, priests, ancient sexy men, and Italians. Each familial line is plagued with these bizarre tasks to bring peace to the universe in any way fit possible, while keeping intact their own interesting personalities, and that's why we're here. Ask any JoJo fan who's their favorite JoJo, and they'll go on a big on rant and talk about why Johnny is their favorite Joestar because he's a depressing crippled fuck, or why Joseph's their favorite because he reminds them of their dad. You'll get a different interesting response each time. Honestly, it's an interesting question for me because I like them all in some kind of way. Well, except one of them, but we'll get into that later. So, in an order of Joestars, I want to open up and talk about how I feel about them. I think maybe sharing my opinion on the internet may be a good thing because everyone will agree with me, and no one, and I mean no one, would ever disagree with me for having a different opinion on the internet. This franchise has gone on for about 34 years. There's manga, anime, and hell, even OVAs. All these different factors and different parts could also determine on why you might like another JoJo over the other. So to narrow it down and keep it simple, let's only talk about the JoJo that appear in the anime. For those who only watch the anime, and I'd love to go into Steel Ball Run and JoJolion, but I haven't read Steel Ball Run since the beginning of the pandemic, and JoJolion I am not fully caught up on. So I'm Shookiest the Wise, and this is my cat, and let's get this video started. Jonathan Joestar is a sweet guy that in the bigger picture of the Joestar family doesn't really fit in the mold when it comes to personality with any of them. He really and truly is a gentleman and overall a good person without question. Really, that's what makes me like him as a character. He has charm. He's simply a delightful guy that wants the best for those around him even when they truly don't deserve it. It actually plays well because his counterpart Dio, I'll murder your family and make your daughter call me Daddy Brando, is such a sack of fucking shit that they both balance off each other amazingly well, making you want to root for Jonathan more and more. Jonathan learning Hamon is such a cool moment because through him learning we get to see the beauty of Hamon, using the power of the sun via breathing techniques to not only live longer but be able to demolish vampires. Kill that bitch! Yeah! It gives us more of an appreciation for the battles than it being a MacGuffin ability to fight, and Jonathan's goodwill executes how Hamon works excellently. It shows us the beauty of Hamon through him being just a beautiful character with a beautiful personality. But he's not perfect. For as much as I love Jonathan, I can see why he's not everyone's favorite JoJo. He's smart and gets development through his abilities, but really he's really much the same character personality from beginning to end, and that's not really engaging, and I can see why that even turns a lot of people off from part one overall. Plus, if you watch more and more of JoJo, he's really lackluster, especially if you put him next to Josuke or Joseph. Characters brimming with personality. He's definitely not my favorite, but not offensive either. Plus, I can't hate him too much. He was written as one note as many of the 80s shonen protagonists of his time. All I'm saying is Jonathan is definitely a product of his time. Jonathan is a good JoJo. He's not as interesting as the rest, and there's not much weight to him other than his thick-ass thighs and his sick 80s Victorian-era haircut, but I like him, and dare I say, despite his flaws, he might be one of my favorite anime protagonists. Because he's such a good boy.